Hello friends, welcome back. My name is Uttam Chaudhary and you have started to watch my channel Excel to Excellence. Now in the series of Excel Quick Bites, today we are going to learn about how to create the loan amortization chart using PMT, PPMT and IPMT formula. These are all financial functions which just so quickly creates your entire chart so that you know what you are paying to the bank. So before we continue, please do subscribe my channel Excel to Excellence, like my videos and do click on bell icon so that as soon as I upload any video you get the notification immediately. Thank you so much. Now before we continue with this formula, let's understand the sheet a little bit. So this particular table tells the basic about the loan, and here we would populate how much total loan amount has been paid with the bifurcation of principal and the interest. And here we would look by every EMI account, how much is the percentage of principal going and the interest going, and what's the total amount paid really. So all of this calculation is more of a financial calculation, and we will see how to kind of draw that. So it's like pretty simple, and we'll see how we can draw that really. So before we go ahead, so let's look at how to derive the EMI amount. To be able to derive the EMI amount, the first thing that we do is use the formula PMT. Now this formula, first here it talks about, if you see here, it's highlighted in bold, it's asking for the rate of interest. So in the rate of interest, since this is a yearly rate of interest, I would go ahead and divide this by 12. Yeah. Then it is asking about at what is the number of EMIs or the number of payments that you would make. So here that which is what is called N per, and this is 60 payments that we would do. Then it's also asking what is the present value or the principal value of the loan. So I would say, hey, okay, so this is $1 million is the principal value or the present value. I go ahead and hit enter. It tells me that $21,992 is the amount that's going to go out of your pocket, and that's why it always indicates in negative. However, just to make things simpler, I would kind of add a minus in here so that it doesn't show the word in negative really. Now, having said that, I would want to know that by every month, how much is my principal going and how much is my interest going? Because as you are aware, in the floating interest rate formula, floating interest rate, you would see that interests are usually high in the earlier EMIs and the principals are low. But as soon as you keep paying the EMI, the interest would reduce and the principal would increase really. But how much, by how much number are we increasing the principal or and decreasing the interest? That is what we are going to look at this right now. So here, since we have 60 EMIs, I have drawn this chart up to 60 EMI count. Let's look at how we would derive this principal amount. What is the amount of principal that I will pay in my first EMI, second EMI, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So let's do this. So for to able to identify what is my principal in the first EMI, I would use the formula PPMT. Yeah. Now, here it is talking about the rate of interest. So I would take the rate of interest from in here, but since I want this cell to remain static, I would actually freeze it by dollar sign here by pressing F4 and divide this by 12 because I want monthly rate of interest. This is an yearly rate of interest. Then per is the EMI count. In this case, this is the first EMI. So I would do this I would not want to freeze this because obviously as I move down, the cell pointer should keep moving down. So I would not really make it, I would not really freeze it. Then it is asking about how many times do we want to make the payment, and I select B5, and I would then freeze it again because I do not want the cell to be moving any further. And then I will go and select the present value and freeze this guy as well. Yeah. So as soon as I do this, but as I said, the EMI is always done in negative. So see, if I kind of close this right now, it shows in negative. So in order to put in the right perspective, I would add a minus in here. So it shows me that what is my principal amount going. Now, to be able to identify the interest amount for the first EMI, I would use the formula IPMT. IPMT, it is again asking the same question, what is the rate of interest? I would freeze this by pressing F4, going ahead, dividing that by 12 because I'm looking at per month rate of interest. And then this is the first EMI, which is per, and I would select this, and I would not like to freeze this because as I keep going down, I want the mouse pointer to keep going down as well. And then I go here and say how many EMIs do I want to pay. I would select 60. I would freeze this guy as well because I do not want this pointer to move. And then I would say go and select the present value and freeze this guy as well. But what I would do is I would actually add a minus before that so it doesn't show me value in negative. I do this, and then if I go and do a sum of this plus, this, you would see that the amount exactly the total amount of EMI. Okay. Now what I would do is I would go ahead and just double click here in order to see what is the payment I'm doing for next 60 months. Yeah, that's the amount. What is the interest I'm paying for the next 60 months? If you it calculates all the way till 60 months, and then I would say how much amount I've paid. So if you notice here, the principal amount has been increasing as in more I'm making the payment, and the interest amount is reducing because this is a reducing method. And at the end, the final payment, you see the least amount of interest and the maximum amount of principal that we are paying, and this is the amount. So if you look here, now your total amount paid is exactly the same because that's the EMI amount that you have agreed with your bank. So the EMI amounts remain same and the principal and the interest keep changing every month as you make the payment. So I would like to know what is the total amount that I've paid. So I can say, hey, okay, that's fine. I would go ahead and select the entire row and kind of entire column and would say, okay. So it is saying that, okay, for $1 million of loan amount, I have to pay 1,319,556.44 dollars. Now, what is the principal amount? We know the principal amount is 1 million, but I will still go ahead and do the sum of the principal amount. And by selecting the entire column, I would say okay, and it would automatically come to 1 million. Now, what is the interest amount that I paid? I can actually do I can subtract this guy from here. I would automatically get the interest that I've paid. But I would use the chart in order to kind of draw that, and I would go ahead and select this guy, close it in here, and what I've done is to make it so if you look, most of the bank would give you some graphical representation of how much have you paid the loan, in which how much was the principal and how much was your interest. And I kind of tried to bring um, bring this chart to kind of show that how much is the amount that you're paying for interest versus principal. Say for now, this is for 60 months. You say, oh, okay, I would want to pay this for 72 months, which is like 6 years. Okay. So I would go ahead and change this to 72 months. You would automatically see that the EMI amount gets reduced, as well as if you see the graph gets reduced as well. But this number doesn't seem okay because right now we have the chart all the way till 60. What I would do is I would extend this to say 72. Yeah. And what you need to do is you just need to copy this and paste all the way till here, and you would see the amount has automatically become 1 million again, and your amortization chart has been, has been increased to say 72 months now. And you would see now the graph has also changed with the new numbers really. So this is how you can generate your own amortization chart, and you should be able to make your own calculation and understand, how much you are paying to the bank, how much is your principal by each and every EMI count, and how much is your interest for each and every EMI count. Yeah. So I hope this video was pretty useful to you. Do let me know by your comments. Do like and subscribe my channel. Hit on the bell icon so that you don't miss any videos. And also send your comments and let me know what all different topics you would like me to cover on Excel. And I would be more than happy to do that. Thank you so much.